Hey, sorry about that, guys. I just realized my whole microphone was off. Thanks for letting me know. I did turn the mic off because of the music that I was playing, and I was just kind of listening through and just in the moment. So, welcome back, guys. As I was saying before, my name is Joshua Stone. This is Composing Live. What you just heard earlier, before this whole quiet rant that I was doing, is the Moldau. For the last previous 8 episodes, we've been doing this slowly and methodically with plugging in notes. The score that we've been using is the Boozy and Hawks score. And as far as that, I can show you the Boozy and Hawk score here in just a second. I was actually loading that up as I was talking. So now we're all caught up here. Sorry about the muting there. That happens sometimes. Okay, so this is the score that I was telling you about, and this is a condensed version. So full disclosure, I'm not doing the entire Moldau, as I've mentioned earlier in these previous live streams, but it's nonetheless a very intensive score to try to put together. Whoa, hello. This is not what I want. There you go. Actually, vertical is the best. Yeah. So then when we do this, we can kind of see how many notes, are involved in something like this. Let me also wrap this so that we can go like that. Okay, so what we just heard was basically everything up till here, and then we worked on the St. John's Rapids for a while. And thanks, guys, by the way. Shout out to Sam and Guy Shard, JPY off. Thank you also from Twitch side letting me know. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, we are now at this latest section right over here, right on the broad flow of the Vltava. So, this is where we'll be starting today. In addition, I mentioned something about looking at the score itself with the chords, and I actually transcribed that on my own time a few days ago, and I basically looked at where the melody starts, which is here. Let me just play that again just to refresh our memory. Right, and I kind of went through all of this, and I made sure to transcribe all of that, and it's wonderful. If you guys have your opportunity for you to do your own transcription, I highly recommend just going through the score, analyze the chords, just anything that most like conductors would do in their score studying, basically, and just like kind of figure out how all these parts piece together. And at first it's really tedious if you were to just put them all in at once, but once you do it, you kind of see the bigger picture. And as you can see, we're in the key of E minor, and as time goes on, let me just put the keyboard on so you can hear this. Okay, so we have, go up an octave, oops, and then oops. Right. So just looking at the chords up here, if you guys want to see that zoomed, let me just make that bigger. So yeah, so I just played up till about there, right? And then it repeats again, and then over here, let's hear this chord. So then you go E minor. Let me make sure this is always on. So you go hello. Oh, you know what? I did the wrong one. Okay, so then it goes to and then over here it goes to and then something like that, right? And then over here it just kind of hangs on this B. It's all on the B chords, the dominant of the E or E major in this case. And it goes to E major. Right, and it just, you know, sitting down with it and just looking at the notes, like all I'm doing here is just turning this big phrasing of all the notes all in one key editor view, and you can just kind of see how where the bass lines are outlining, you know, the root of the chords. Sometimes it's inversion, but then you can kind of see how up here there's some, you know, more busy line type of thing that's more of an embellishment of things. But you know, you can kind of see how that all fits. And like sometimes the chords spell stuff out pretty clearly. This is like a D7, right? Dominant seventh chord. Anyways, all of that stuff to say, I went through that. I'll just keep going here. So then you have a da, 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 da. And then after that, let me zoom in because some of this is like being covered. And then let's hear that in context. Okay, so I was probably singing the wrong stuff, but yeah, you can kind of see how that works. And just, you know, looking at the chords, you got the 2/5 thing going on. But it's interesting how it does modulate to an E major chord here, rather than E minor, right? And it still works as long as you put the sharp third, or you know, just the third major chord instead of the minor of the third. And then that is something that we're gonna kind of revisit now. So on the next section, after that, I think it just repeats. Yeah, so this from here to wherever the next section where St. John's Rapids starts is just a repeat of all we just saw. So then I'm going to skip over. I'm just going to give us a little bit of overlap. So I should revisit this, make sure that everything I put down here is correct. And I'm thinking this doesn't really make sense too much. I should probably put maybe a enharmonic version of this. So like rather than saying, oh, it won't even change, I guess. But oh, that's because it's locked. My bad. Let's see if I can change that. Okay, there we go. So this is the very most interesting part is this transition. It kind of, as you can see here, it's going down. Right, so this is the fifth of the chord. Normally you would expect a good old E minor, right? So like you would expect that on the E minor, but it goes to this really weird chord, and I've been trying to sit down and really understand what this function is. But you have a C major chord over A sharp or B flat, and you can maybe see as a sharp, but anyways, if you can hear that. All of a sudden you hear this weird thing that's happening, and in my mind it's probably a A sharp diminished on the bottom, so like A sharp E, and then there's a C chord, like C major on top of that. So you can almost think of this as like a C E with a, I don't know, what am I trying to say? It's more like a sharp diminished chord, but then it's adding a C in there instead of the C sharp, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it's confusing because normally a fully A sharp diminished chord would have A sharp, C sharp, E natural, but there's a C in there, so that's like it's kind of a mystery chord to me. And if any music theory people out there know what I mean, um, and can better explain this chord, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Anyways, this is a really interesting way to pivot to this next part, right? And then after you do this, and then you do it again. Dun, 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 dun. And on this part, it goes to just a maybe a fully A sharp diminished seventh. Oh, sorry. Let's play that. Okay, and then after that, it goes to a A sharp seventh. Well, it's not playing that way, but basically it's like. And if you listen to the underlying of that, and I'll show you the notes as well. A on the bottom. Let's stay in this screen because this also can view the chords. Right. So anyways, I thought I'd share this with you because I find it really fascinating to be able to see these chords in context and how it goes from this. I mean, I guess A sharp is in the root, so this might not be accurate, but it's one way to look at it in a more of like a pop chord type of approach. And but yeah, you know that's why I put that C. It's like a C major chord over A sharp. And maybe it's more of a polychord, so it's not a slash. It's one of those horizontal slashes as a polychord. And in that case, to truly be that, it would be a sharp diminished. But anyways, this is a key based limitation. So, anyways, going to that, then you have the A sharp diminished. Then you have this again, playing this. C sharp. So all this right here is I don't know if the word is modal, but like everything just stays in like a mode of some sort. So that, this is kind of like that. I'm not gonna pretend I know all my modes or if I if I can recall them correctly, but I know that the A7th is the Mixolydian chord, and then it just keeps it goes to this one, C sharp minor over G. And then it goes to this G diminished. Okay, and then it has this really cool ninth chord, so and then it goes to the like that, like. And you can hear that more so in the woodwinds here. So that ninth is just the added A in the G diminished seventh chord. So you have your, let me unmute here. So you have this, and then I'll just invert that up, and then I'm just gonna move it up to the A. Right? It's really cool. This is very, probably if anything, this is the most I'm gonna learn from this piece is just how to make music with stuff that's not so melodic and more of a texture or some kind of more of an effect than anything else, and how he Bedrich Smetana masterfully orchestrates that, with all the instruments and working together as one. Guy Chord, you say C over B flat, a C7 chord in third inversion. Yeah. I mean that's basically. You're right. It's basically that. That's why I put that there. C over B flat first, and then I was like, but it's weird because there's a A sharp and a E down at the bottom of the bass line. And to me, like it kind of acts. it's probably a C7 over B flat chord, but it's like disguising itself as that, but it's more functionally acting like a diminished chord, if that makes sense. Going back to what I'm saying over here, though, basically this is it, and then let's just kind of finish this off before we go to this new section. But as you see, it's basically doing the same G diminished sort of thing, but going to this part, it goes to the G sharp diminished, and it's just gradually modulating upwards a half step. And I'm basing this one differently due to what I hear in the woodwinds. So let's look at that. So you have a G sharp diminished. Okay, so that's your G sharp diminished ninth chord. Or sorry, excuse me, just the seventh fully diminished. But then I'm gonna add, and let's invert that real quick. Okay, so the G sharp is on my top note, but I'm gonna go to the ninth of that, which is A sharp. Okay, so it goes like. But instead of going back to just resolving to seventh, it's actually doing this G sharp half diminished seventh chord, if that makes sense. And so a half diminished seventh chord. Let me just review what I did here. Okay, so now instead of F natural, it's a F sharp, if that makes sense. So again, I'll play the one right before it. There you go. So the big notes that are changing are. I think you can hear that when you listen to woodwinds. It's kind of a combination of like all of those notes, but in upwards too. So like, if I may, yeah, it's doing something like that. You can definitely hear that in clarinets. But this is all outlining that G sharp diminished chord, so to speak. But I find that interesting. It goes to the half diminished on this one. And then over here, this is the last, I think. Right, so you have your A. And then adding that ninth, or let's invert it real quick. So, okay, so your ninth would just be the B on the top of the note. Right, and then it does this, let's see, let's look at the woodwinds real quick. It actually goes up, so I might be missing something here. Oh, actually, no, I'm not. This is an A sharp diminished, yeah, so it does go up to the A sharp. And this is the last part. That's my favorite part, probably in this entire piece is this dee da dee da dee da. And again, what's happening here is if you were to take a step back and to see the bigger picture, this A sharp diminished chord acts as it's the seventh chord of the B, if that makes sense. So this acts like I think a secondary dominant is the term. So it's an A sharp, which is a seventh of the 5 chord. The 5 chord being the B. So this is kind of like a flatted, or excuse me, yeah, no, that's right. It's the seventh of the B, the 7 of the 5 chord. If you're looking at Roman numeral analysis, if anyone knows what the hell I'm talking about. And so that's a secondary dominant to the dominant, which B is the dominant to the E minor chord. But there's this really cool thing that's happening here that just almost elongates and embellishes that. Yeah, so that if I may, I was gonna nerd out on this one more time. Is looking over here, playing it on the piano, so you have right. So what I wrote here is a F sharp diminished over B. So and so starting at 152 on the DAW measures, and then there you go. So okay, and you can even think of the F sharp diminished as a seventh, a fully diminished F sharp diminished chord. So over that B, and then and then it was like, and then this last part. Let's talk about one more thing. Is the scale that we see here. So this scale, if anyone knows, if you can hear it. Yeah, so this chord here, or excuse me, this scale run is outlining an interesting scale that I always, learned this in college and whatnot about like the different minor scales. But then, this kind of light bulb flickered in my brain once I understood what the scale was. If I can maybe pick one of these notes here. This is a bassoon. Okay, sure, why not? So on the bassoon, it starts with the C, and then right. So that's basically the notes. So what? That's actually a harmonic minor, the scale of E minor. If you do an E minor, like a. Right. So it's doing a harmonic minor scale in E minor, but starting on this high C note, right? And I always thought, the harmonic minor is played, in the fifth of the scale. For some reason, I thought you would do the B harmonic minor when you're trying to go down. And so then it clicked. Oh yeah, so you stay in the key of E minor, doing the E minor harmonic, even though you're on the B chord, if that makes sense. So that kind of clicked in my brain, like, oh, okay, so that's like there's times when you use the harmonic minor and you just do it without really knowing why or how. It just sounds good in your ears. But then analyzing this further just made me realize, okay, so anytime I use harmonic minor, it's always in the key of the minor key that you're in. So in this case, E minor. So anytime you use that harmonic minor scale, it's not the fifth. For some reason, I had that in my mind. But yeah, so that's just one other realization or aha moment I had, and yeah, it was a lot of fun analyzing. It took like a few hours actually to really sit down and just look at all the notes. I also looked at the score as well and kind of did that. So I hope that was insightful for anyone else watching this. It's very fascinating. I have some notes here from others that were just watching and commenting here. I'm just going to look through real quick. Woodwinds are underrated by Sam. It's true. And you've been also learning a lot of texture. John Powell is great at texture. Oh, yeah. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon. I remember listening to Test Drive, that, one of those most famous tracks or cues. And there's that moment where like he's flying and then they like kind of fall and there's that turbulence. Always admired that part. I was like, "Whoa, how do you do that?" And that's definitely a texture kind of thing that he was really good at. Um, Guy Shard, if one is into textural music composing, I am, which usually fits movie series scores. Orchestral Tools has Grimm. Oh yeah, yeah, I actually heard about that. Yeah, so yeah, I'm actually I'll have to sit down with that and then see if we can play around with that at some point. That'd be nice. Okay. Oh, this is Burke is a great thing to study. Yeah, yeah, awesome. I think I know which track you're talking about there. Um, yeah, there's a lot, and textural composing is something that I didn't really think about learning from this piece, the Moldau, but it is definitely one that I think we'll see a lot on this new section. So let's actually transition there now. Now that it is about 30 minutes in, we have maybe 2.5 hours to work for this part. The broad flow of the Vltava is this finale. From here, it's like maybe 90 measures that we have to fill in. Hopefully, it goes by quick. Some of these will be able to cruise through once we start going on these more like homophonic type of movements here, as you can see. Um, but who knows how long this will take. So what's nice is the strings kind of take over at the very end, as you can see here, and the strings just have this really kind of cool whirlwindy sound, which I'm really excited to try to get to as well. Now the question is, where do we begin? There's a little other section here, as you can see, the motive. So I called the broad flow the Vltava the finale, but there's also this kind of smaller note here. So let's just say the broad flow is still the big mother. So let's go ahead and try for my strategy before was doing the bass line. So we'll do contrabass and maybe timpani and probably cello. We also have tubas, so maybe tuba is a little bit different. So if you can see over here, this tuba is different than the contrabass. So maybe we focus on strings for now, and then just judging how we feel. At some point, I'll decide whether we do the tuba or something else. Anywho, lots of measures. As you can see, I think let's just start with the contrabass. Okay, so you got dun 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 dun. Okay, let's do this then. I'm gonna go to my iPad here. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hope everyone's doing well, staying busy with work, whether that's with music or anything else. I'll say being able to do music on the side, whether you do it for a living or not, it's really rewarding. Something that you can always get better at. Let's go over here to this bass line. Okay, so I'm picking the Spitfire again. A lot of this stuff is Spitfire. Someone asked me the other day, what libraries are you using for this? Mostly Spitfire, some Pacific string stuff as well, and then some Cineperk stuff for like the timpani and whatnot. But yeah, Spitfire's proven to be a pretty good library. So what I'm going to do here is just start with the contrabass and draw in the notes or play. I'm not sure. Let's see. So another thing that's really confusing when you're transcribing is knowing how the contrabass is an octave lower than its sound. That throws me off sometimes, so I'm hoping that I'm in the right octave here. So you go, and then you can just test yourself and listen to the original. I think that probably would be the right octave. So then let's put this. This is kind of more of a bouncy feel. So yeah, without making it sound so synthy, even though, I mean, it's MIDI, but whatever we can do to get that to sound a little more musical. Bum 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 bum. Maybe let's just try spiccato. Okay, and then also this is funky too because the tempo track I made was kind of timed with the original orchestral recording. So you can hear how it's rushing just a bit. And maybe I'm doing this wrong. Let me just see the... Okay, so maybe what I need to do... Done. Oh, okay. I'm looking at this with the different grid modes. So now this is correct. There we go. Okay. So now it's like kind of slow. Okay, so done, 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 done. Okay, let's make this longer. Okay, now what's wrong with that? Let me just mute this. Why does it sound so weird? Done. No, that's right. It just sounds like behind the beat almost, which is I didn't really notice that before. Okay, that's better. For some reason the spiccato is behind the beat, which is surprising to me. Okay, so then let me see what other notes that we're dealing with. We have timpani. So let me just kind of balance this right now with timpani. Timpani is down here. Okay, so then we have this thing. Let's turn this off. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so then let's just make sure that the timpani isn't so loud. Okay. Anyways, let's kind of start there then. Then going back to the bass line, let's just go for a while. I'm not sure where to stop, so I'm just gonna keep going and call it at a certain spot. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. This part will be pretty mellow. Okay. I'm kind of doing this as we go. There it goes. Oh. Oh, you know what? This is an E major. So anytime I see G, it's a G sharp. And this should be F sharp. Okay. And let's just keep that going. So then this goes to A, B. All right, so now there are some accents here on what score measure. It's 347. So right here, this is 347. I have A, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. These should be more accented. So the one on Spitfire is probably Marcato. Or let's see. Another one is tenuto. It's like in the brass for Spitfire stuff, they're kind of marcato sounds. They're called tenuto. But then you have to sort of fight that with the velocity to get the right tone. Let's see how that sounds in context. So I'm just gonna solo that. Okay, excuse me. I also mentioned the G sharps. G's are G sharps. F's are F sharps. D is also D sharp. Right? Okay, so now I think my head is now fully in the game here. Takes a little bit. Let's keep going. So then we have 351. 351. Let's just make sure we're on the right measures. This is 347, 48, 49, 50, 51. Okay, great. Sometimes you get so into it that you will like be off one measure, and then it's just a headache to try to backtrack. So I always try to make sure I am on the right measure at all times. As you can see here, though, the bass line super quick, right? And I'm just going to draw this out for simplicity because there's 90 measures to hit, and I'm not sure how long this will take to do all this. I'm guessing we'll do like 4 streams, and that'll be basically one for every family of instrument. Okay, there's your C. Now the C is tied over. Like that. Oh, I think that C is tied over again. So then let's just do that. This entire phrase. Okay. Then over here we have a G sharp. Oh, look at that. So then it looks like it's doing something similar in the phrasing, but just different notes. F sharp tied over to the G sharp. A. Okay, let's hear how that sounds. Okay, great. And then it goes to a B tied over. All right. Let's play that one more time. I'm gonna turn off that click. Great. Let's see. Then we have G sharp, B, E, B. Okay, so then this is repeated, looks like. Save us some time like doing that. And then, interesting, this ties over too. Oh, this is actually like that. Okay. All right. Let's go here. There goes the E. Okay, let's go back just a bit and play that. this is where I get lost. There's so many notes, and so little time. So maybe I'll start marking some measure numbers here. When this E starts, there's a lot of E's here. So starting at this measure, let's put the measure numbers. So this is 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. So and I'll say it again. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Anytime you see a marking here up top with a number, this is the score measure number. And it's confusing because when I usually do my live streams and I'm composing something more original, I'll actually refer to the DAW bar numbers. And so it's kind of, I'm not really paying attention to the DAW bar numbers for this entire series. This is 394, 93, 92, 91, 90. I'm going to mark also this one, 390. The more important one's probably 395, but I'm just going to put these in so I don't get lost. There's just so many measures. So this is 96, 97, 98, 99, 400. Let's find 400 as well. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 400 is right here. Cool. So there's all of that. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I did too many. Let me just double check that one more time. Four measures. Okay, great. Then it goes down to this octave lower thing. I can't even sing that low. Let's see. So low. Okay, and then you do it again. There's a lot of repetition on this part. So there's 3 measures at a time you're holding. And I'm not sure if this is the best articulation too. We might be able to change it to like marcato or something down the road, but let's just keep it like that for now. So what measure number is this? 413. Okay, so I'm gonna put down here 413. Hey Joel, I see that. Can you make some louder? Loudness is really low. Yeah, definitely. If this is low for you, we can definitely bring up some of that. It is lower just because this is like the first instrument as well in the entire section, so to speak. But right now I have it at 9 decibels boosted, so I'll boost it up like 3 more, or in this case 5 more. Let's see how that sounds. Alright, so you probably can hear that better now. Let me know if that's good. So going to 413. And also, it depends on what kind of speakers you're on. If you're using headphones, that's okay, especially just low end stuff. But if you're, if it's a phone or something like that, then it's a little bit harder to hear anything like the low end stuff. So let's just keep going. So you got these 4 measures. This ties over a long time. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but this is sort of the end too, which is nice. So right here, and then 1. Okay, and there you go. All right, and then over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually do the decrescendo here. And it's just saying diminuendo. Okay, and then hopefully at this point, this is where the upper strings are by itself at a particular measure, 422. is where that should be. So let me just double check that. 413, 414, 415, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ooh, did I do this wrong? 20, and then 21, 22. So is it really that long? Whoa, let's double check here. So at 410, let's double check. 413, yeah, interesting. How many times do you do this? You go 1, 2, 3. So 407 would be here. Let's go backwards. So if this is 413, you go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, so let's write that down. It doesn't hurt to add more markers like that. Okay, so there's that, and then 413. Was I really off that much? Let's see. So then from here you have one measure, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next page, 8, 9, and then this last little beat right here. Yeah, okay. I'll actually go this much. Okay, then there's this little dun dun. So let's add that in too. So this is the end. Wow, that was actually a lot quicker than the St. John's Rapids in my experience with that. Partly because it's more simple, like basic long notes on this one. No runs on the bass at least. So then this is Marcato. Let's just make sure that it sounds good. And it's really slow. I wonder if this would be better. Okay. Let's bring up the accent and even this stuff here. Although it's probably faster. I'm imagining this part is like dun dun. Yeah. So what if we went? So it's really slow and then picks up. Let's go faster. Let's go 120. Boom. Boom. Cool. Very nice. Okay, so that is the bass. We didn't shape any of the bass dynamics, which it's kind of hard to know how loud things should be. So I'm sort of going off of the middle here. Let's see. Yeah. That's a long tail, by the way. I'll have to look into that. Okay, and then it goes. Okay, cool. Also, there's a few of these measures that have a huge jump in tempo, so I'm gonna smooth this out just a little bit as well. As you may know, I took a recording of the Berlin Symphony Orchestra, or I don't know, it's just called Berlin Symphony. They recorded this like a long time ago, probably like in the 50s or something. And that recording still stands really well across the other recordings I've listened to, and so I picked that one. Then I did a tempo track to sort of create the more realistic feel of how that would be. It's not 100% accurate, as you can see. Sometimes I feel like these jumps are too drastic, and it feels weird when you put them onto the grid. Anyways, yeah, I feel like this this dynamic level is okay. I might want to just boost it up a little bit to sort of be a all-purpose dynamic level. This is pretty loud. It's a loud section, so I'll kind of keep it up there. All right. We'll shape that maybe after some other instruments are in, and we can kind of get a better idea of where it should be. So then let's add the timpani, because timpani and the bass here seem to be going together really well, so it doesn't hurt to add that in. So I'm going to go back to the very top of score measure 333, and let's actually talk about that real quick. Okay, so over here, this timpani I just put in already, so I'm going to start here. But going back to what I was going to say is timpani and contrabass are sharing similar things. The reason why there's no note on this bar, whereas the contrabass there is a D sharp, is because timpani is hard to tune notes on the fly, and you're excuse me, I just had like a brain fart. You usually are stuck with 3 or 4 timpani drums, right? Like a kettle drum. Each one holds a different note. E would be one. D sharp would be possible on a different drum, but it's probably better to put like the 5th below, like on a B or something. And so when it's fixed that way, it's extremely hard to pedal down to D sharp on the fly. It's done nowadays more because of the technology and the new timpanis that are out there with the pedals. But back then it was probably more impossible, and so the composer, it's more of a compromise, right? Like when you don't add the note, is only because it's not available on timpani. So that's why. Now we're gonna just double check everything and just see how it relates to the contrabass. So this is interesting. This looks like almost a weird typo to me, because there's a rub here with this B, right? It looks like a B. So it's a low B, and then this contrabass is hitting an A. That to me seems like a mistake. Generally, you don't want to be like a major second or minor second apart from a bass line, just because it gets so muddy. It can be done on purpose, but this is interesting. I would say if I were the composer here, I might just double it, right, and go A and then the G here. But when you listen to the recording, it sounds fine. So that's kind of fascinating. This B and the G work together. It probably spells out a G chord. Let's look at the other notes real quick. So you have G, D, B. Yeah, so this is a G major on this particular measure on 342. But anyways, these are kind of things that I find interesting. So in other words, you don't always have to follow those rules, so to speak, when you say like, oh, bass lines should all match. It just helps with clearing up the mud, but not always the case, as you can see here. So here's another example. This timpani here on 361, beat 2, or beat 4, is actually different as well. You got the D and the B. So yeah, I think that's fascinating. E's, and then it diverges here again, the C sharp and the E still. Anyways, it's going to be fascinating to hear in context with just those two lines together. So what I'll do is I'm just going to copy this over to the timpani line, which is below here. Oh, there we go. And then I'm going to just glue this together. All right, and then all this junk, I'm just going to delete. Oops. I'm clicking all sorts of wrong things today. Okay, so starting on this part. That doesn't sound right? To me, I think these were supposed to be. Oh, actually, no. This is the bass line, right? Okay. So all of these notes need to go up an octave or two. In Cineperk, the Cinesamples perk library, the upper octaves represent the single hits, and then the lower octaves represent the rolls. There's no expression map or you know like a different split to change them, which in some ways is actually more superior for timpani. Right. Okay. So like I was saying before, in the score, this is gone. But these other notes are here still. But it does do this weird thing where you're going. You're doing that. So now let's put the bass and percussion together. Okay. And now we have the bass in pink and the timpani in purple. Okay. You know what? Let's solo. Okay. So as we do this, we're kind of comparing them as we go, so you can see how they double and how they diverge in certain aspects, and it'll be fascinating to see how that all plays together. So now we're cruising along. We have timpani. Timpani, we're skipping over to this measure. So let's delete all this. And then we're going to go to the B. This is a rolled B. Like that. So, oops. Okay, and then we're going to delete these two measures. Go to the next page. And it looks like there's some repetition here, so all I'm going to do is basically copy that over to here. Okay, so this is very strange, and you know, not to be like a music theory or you know, I don't know, like a composer snob, so to speak, is to criticize a really masterful composer, but it's kind of weird that there's, you know, these notes like the A and the B rubbing up against each other. That to me, once we put all these other chords in, it might make more sense. But right now, that this is a little odd. It works, right? Like you can't. They're so low, anyways, that it's like you can't really hear. But I'm just wondering if the B switching to an A would clear up. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was a mistake or it could be even the score. It's so blurry sometimes. But I'm pretty sure that it says B there. Anyways. Okay, going on. We have two measures also skipping forward. And then we have these guys. Nice. I still have trouble doing tempo changes, as Ollie does it real well. Oh, cool. Did you do a tutorial on how to make the template? Are you asking me, Sam? Did you do the tutorial on how to make the template for the template? And when you're saying the template, meaning like the tempo track, all that stuff. Let's see. So then we do this for two measures. Now we're here. Let's put a marker here as well. So if this is 359 over here, this would be 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is 352 in the score. Let's find 352. Okay, so interesting. 351. Or did I say that wrong? Let me say that again. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. I might have said 351, but then somewhere that switch. So it's 351. This is all correct then. Let's go to this E, which doubles the bass, which is good. Okay. And then we're kind of hovering over this E for a second. Imagine if the timpani player can do that, right? E, D sharp, C, just pedaling that down. So going back to your question, Sam, you said loading all the instruments and their articulations. Yeah, our conductor is something I've used and kind of modified and put into my template. For loading all the instruments into here in this template, it's just kind of an all-purpose template that I've used in the past for film scores to all of these orchestral stuff, and it's been proven to be really effective. I mean, I might have over in the past talked about Violin Ensemble, which this is on a different computer. This is 2 computers, so this one loads all my samples, have it organized in a nice way, so in case I upgrade, you know, if I buy new libraries and want to replace some or add some in, it's easily done in an organized manner that doesn't explode your brain every time you're trying to modify it into your Cubase. But yeah, some of the sounds here basically are the Spitfire that are pretty new in my template, and this is a good test. Yeah, so I've done a little bit of showing a little bit of that, but probably not as really intensive as maybe someone would want to learn. But yeah, if you guys would be interested in that, let me know. I'll think about how I could showcase some of that. That's interesting. So this E is doubling with this bass line, but it's... And you know what? Let me just double check something, because I might be doing something funky myself here. 351. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, you know what? I am on the right spot now. I think I just was looking at the wrong spot. Okay, so here, this is more like this. And another one. And then this one's roll. Cool. Okay. Okay, this one's rolled. Okay, and so on. So let's just keep this party going. So this E goes down to a B, roll that. Okay, so this is interesting. This is a G sharp in the bass, but the timpani's still playing an E, which to me this is spelling an E chord, like an E major chord. And then here we have back up to a single hit. Oh, these are rolled though. Yeah, so when I was making that comment about the bass line and the timpani, A good rule of thumb is to double the bass line with the timpani. Not always though, right? There's a lot of creative ways you can do this and get around the limitations of what a timpani could do, and maybe spell and like the chords of the root with the bass line. And so you're kind of seeing that here. Now this is a weird one. I might have a typo here, or I might be ahead of myself because something didn't jive here. So how many times do I have this E rule in this score? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's correct now. Okay, so this is weird to me too. I'm gonna keep saying this is weird, guys. And the reason because there's an F sharp in the bass line. It's really low, right? And then you have this E. Oh man, that to me is like that spells trouble. But yeah, I mean, really, like if you don't pay attention to it, it's not too muddy in a sense. Okay, then we have B like that. Okay, so I got da, and then let's see if this is correct. Okay, so there's no G sharp in the timpani, so we're going back to the E. Again, this G sharp and the E still probably in the right E major chord. That sounds good to me, right? So again, you don't always have to double and reinforce the bass line. Anyways, so we have E, B, E, B. Okay, then it goes to this E. B, E, B rolled for 2 measures. Okay, and this is, yeah, hit. And then you do this again. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so this is a kind of the finale part. While the bass line is kind of doing this dun 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 dun, and you know, I'm thinking all these E's should probably be more of a like a staccato feel. Tenuto in this case for Spitfire. Or Marcato, one of those two. Let's see. No, Marcato doesn't sound right. So spiccato. Spiccato's too short. Man, what about the staccato dig with the 2 Ks? I guess that's how it's spelled. Okay. That gives that energy, but some length as well. I wonder if I might want to replace that with some of these other ones. I'm not really familiar with this staccato dig articulation. Oops. Sorry. This is probably, I'm not sure if that's right, but I can't really hear it. See. Let's turn this on. Yeah, that's the sound. That's the sound I was looking for. So then, should I do that for some of these other ones? Yeah. So now, okay, if let's say for the dotted quarter notes in this 12/8 or 6/8 type, is it 6/8? It's yeah, so in the 6/8 score, if I were to change this to the staccato dig, how does that sound? It's just a little too short. And then let's just try one of these other ones. The other one was tenuto. I'm gonna bring the velocity down just a little bit. So it's weird because you can kind of hear a lag, so maybe I have to push that in the front of the beat. That sounds better. To me, that sounds a little more characteristic of how the bass line should sound, or at least give that energy behind. So maybe we use the tenuto stuff for the most of it, and then I did that staccato dig somewhere over later on. Let's just keep hearing. So then the question is this in the right octave on some of these? I just want to double check. So you got that when you're going down. Where is that? Three something. This is 351. Whoa, I'm way back there. Oh yeah, so there's some accents and stuff too. Alright, so what I'm looking at is this part. This measure would be 350, 354, 355 on the score. It even says here marcatissimo. Okay, so for one, what's the lowest note on this bass? Okay, so that's your low C. That's the lowest note on the bass. And if this is written in a way that's an octave higher, this has got to be the range. Okay, so I always psych myself on the bass sometimes, like, oh, am I on the right octave? Now this part here sounds a little muddy, and maybe this is when I change over to this other articulation. Let's bring up the velocity there. Stuff too. It's just a little it's a little bit flabby. I think this could also benefit from one of these, either a tenuto or a staccato. That sounds pretty good. Let's listen to this other one. I think this one probably sounds better. So let's keep this one then. And did I do this wrong? Dun 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 dun. No, that's right. And then going on, we can even like bring up the velocities here slightly as you go through that. So I was on timpani before, and the reason why I took a moment to step back on the bass is just making sure that these articulations are the best choices. I think that the changes I made were appropriate and as necessary to do that. Now that we're on the same page with timpani and bass articulation, let's just finish up where we left off on the timpani. So this is measure 395 in the score. The timpani is actually doing these rolls down here. Let me flip over here. So this is it's actually doing the whole entire bar each time. I'm gonna just glue all these guys together like that, and then we'll put that also down below so it rolls. And you know, it might even be better to just glue the entire thing. Just tie it over. And just let the bass and some of the other instruments give that pulse. We'll see if that works. So then the last part of this is, so we're rolling. Let me see where we are. Okay, so then at this part, what measure? This is 404 in the score. In the 404 part, we have something like this. Like that. And then we're just going dun 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 dun. We need I'm just seeing your note here, Sam. We need another 4 of those to beat Star Wars. I think I missed the timing on that note there. I think you're probably referring to like the timpani, like the dun 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 dun, something like that. Okay, and as you can see, it's slowing down in the tempo track. To give context, I try not to play this too much because I always get this copyright strike going on YouTube. Oh, on the live streams. I mean, live streams. 4 of these to beat Star Wars. Oh, I see what you're saying. All the episodes, right? That's funny. Okay, so what you just heard there is the timpani ending. Dun 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 dun, and then all of a sudden the strings. Let me just play that in context so that we can hear how it ends. So it looks like it ends right here. Maybe I'll double check that in a second. It's kind of quiet. Let's see if I can bring this up. Oh, there's quite a bit of a space between those two notes. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyways, this is probably off a little bit now from the grid, which is unfortunate because it's not quite where things are lining up, unfortunately. So at some point, I might have to change the tempo track again to reflect the A and B comparisons when I do that part. Yeah, but I noticed like it ends here, right there on that chord, and that's not where it ends in the score. It's telling me to end on the downbeat of the bar, so somehow I'm like off half a beat with the recording here with this Herbert von Karajan and the Berlin Symphony. So let's see, going over here, you have, let me just double check. So 3 bars, and I end here. Okay, that makes more sense. So that we end this timpani hit with the beginning of that marker. And then let's double check. So I don't think I have any other notes for timpani until the very end. So let's delete this. Very end is, looks like a B, but it's a lower B. Oh, actually, no, that's right. So that's that B, and then the E would be higher. Cool. Let's listen to that with the bass. Okay, and whatever we need to do to make that sound a little beefier at the end, we'll mess around with that. All right, so that is the contrabass and timpani. How much time did that take? That took about an hour. Okay. So if I wanted to add some other instruments, maybe logically speaking, the cello and upwards on the strings would probably be the best. Or let's see. There is a bunch of melodic stuff happening here, right? So rather than adding these more embellished stuff, let's add the most important things that support the melody, and maybe I'll do melody after that. So I'm looking down here. I didn't realize, but the second cello notes that are pointing down are doubling with the bass notes, as you can see, and it's in the right octaves. So it's a direct doubling. It's not an octave doubling. And let's look at that together and just make sure these notes are all in unison. If they are, great. We can just copy and paste that, right? And eventually we'll shape the dynamics. But this should be, it looks promising. Looks like, oh, we can save ourselves a step, basically, and put that in. Over here you have a low C sharp, which is the one of the lowest notes of the cello, and that also seems to be right. Okay, let's see here. This is a G sharp. Great. Oh, okay. So now it looks like, let me double check here. Okay, so something caught my eye is the second cellos diverge and start to double in octaves at some point. I didn't catch it somewhere. Is it here? No. G. Oh, it is here. Okay, so I think what happens is at this measure, 366, the second cellos then are back in octaves with it. 366. Let's find that. 366 is 60, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's 366. This is an important spot to just mark. And oh, my video quality went up for no reason. Cool. That's good. I would say, you know that settings icon in YouTube? If you click on that gearbox and you click on, like the 1080p version, it'll always be clear. And so I'm not sure if you knew that already, but that's something I've learned. And usually it plays videos on auto, and so it'll like do auto to save space. But anyways, yeah, if the quality's up automatically, that means you have a good internet connection. But you can also manually override that by going in settings. Okay, so over here, what I'm gonna do is let's start the cello 2 stuff. So I don't know where the cello 2 stuff is. I tried, but then it starts loading. I want to be on time. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, live stream is different than just normal YouTube videos, I guess. After this video airs though, or live airs on live version, then when it goes to the YouTube and it processes all that stuff, I think you can do it then. So let's see here. I don't know where is this the cello 2? I think this is cello 2. This is all wonky right now, but yeah, I put a note here. This is the 2 signifies that. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Now some of this is not catching on with the bass, which is interesting. For one, like this note is not where it should be. Okay, so then this needs to go here. Let's call this the. Oh, I see. Sustain. Okay, so I think I know why some of these are showing up as none in the articulations is because it doesn't have staccato digs articulation like the bass does. So the next best bet would be tenuto. So let's bring that up in here. I don't know if that sounds good though. This just sounds too manufactured, too sampled. Then let's bring this down. Something like that. We might have to just settle for something like that. Let's try something like the short brush. It's not consistently playing. Wow. What about Marcato? Hey, Cheyenne. Good to see you. Yeah, this is all wonky. So, anyways, I'm a little bummed that this doesn't share the baseline articulation, because that really does really matter for something like this. I tried doing a Jurassic Park transcription a long time ago, like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and I ran into the same issues here, which is anytime the low end strings kind of do more of a long pulse with their bows, samples tend to struggle with that. I haven't found one that does a good job of that yet. Let's try messing around with this though. Yeah, it's you know who does a pretty good job of that actually. I'm debating if I should do it now. Is Jaeger, and I don't have any of that loaded. Yeah, surprisingly, Jaeger the trailer library, Jaeger cello, has some decent. I don't know what I called that before. Let's see. Let's say cello. Oh, it's just spelled JEG. Anyways, what I'm saying is, if I were to just mess around with this for a second, turn it on, and with all of these notes that are set to staccato or even portato, let's do staccato. Sometimes it's a bit too dry, but you can try the portato. Sometimes that works okay too, but you know, again, these are samples. You're not gonna get everything perfectly all in one try. Right, so that's one option. I'll try to avoid that if I can, but man, I'm kind of bummed the cello sound this way. It is kind of loud too, so maybe I'll bring this down. But yeah, it sounds kind of funky in this really low farty range of the cello. I mean, and this is just sustain patch. But what I do here, this is all sustain. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, it just sounds so crunchy and robotic. Then this one sounds a little too soft. Let's see. Sounds really soft. And then this one just sounds so long. So I'm just wondering, what if I did a combination of the tenuto and spiccato? So like on these pickups, do that. It's a lot of work to kind of go back and forth that way, but let's see what we can do there. And then we'll hear it in context with everything else. So 333, let me go back to that page. Okay, so 333, we have... Okay, and again, these are just sustains. Okay, so then these notes can be sustains. I think I'll just settle for a lot of these being sustained notes. And then if there's something that calls for something more accented, perhaps like this one, we'll change it up a little bit more. So maybe we do the tenuto. And let's look at the velocities. It looks pretty high. Okay, let's listen to just the cello itself. Oh yeah, it doesn't go that high. Okay, so what did I say before? 346 is when it diverges, I believe. Let's double check that. So 346, the bass line of the cello, second cello, goes to normal. And is that right? 346. It was even before that, wasn't it? I think I found it. Okay, so this is what measure 339, 338. Oh, okay. You know what? I looked at this wrong. When I was saying before that they did start diverging like at 346, it actually goes earlier than that. I don't think I caught that. Okay, so 339. That's where it diverges. Where is that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so this is 339. Let's put a marker on this. Okay, so after this note, it goes up an octave. I'm not sure how much. I'm assuming all of this because the cello doesn't go that low. Doesn't go past that C, so. Whoa, hello. Hello, tuning. So then going out to this part again, I'm gonna listen. I said hello tuning because there's some funky notes here that sound out of tune. Ooh. Okay, so every time it reattacks, it's doing this out of pitch sound. To fight that, maybe it's just this A note, the sample of the A's is just out of tune. This happens a lot, guys, with a lot of samples. Is not every note is gonna be tuned perfectly, and you know, you kind of learn how every sample library will do that. So I'm assuming that some other articulations behind this other note, this A on a marcato, will probably sound better in terms of tuning. So you have to settle for that. Right, and then this that really harsh marcato can be maybe softened up by tenuto instead. Right, but you just gotta fight the velocity till it balances. And then this is quiet for some reason. Okay, anyways, yeah, people that are chiming in about the layering, combining separated strings with ensemble edges does help with the realism. Yeah, that's a good point. We can do that after. We can start layering and doing that. Those are kind of like more things in my mind that I do after going through everything and just kind of with some fresh ears start polishing and doing those massagings afterwards. So yeah, that's actually a good point. Let me just see where I'm at here now. So the bass line from that 339 measure in the score to wherever else we land on the very end, I just want to make sure in the score here that's the case. So that cello twos all are in unison, and so my guess is it will do that to the most, for the most part it will, but then we might want to just double check if there's some direct doubling. So when I say direct, it like this E, it sounds the same as this E. So at 351, yes, it does go back. So let's go ahead and bring this down. And we're just trying to stay true to the score, so it's tricky. On this part, you kind of have to go back and forth and just get it right. So did I get this wrong? So on 352, there's a C sharp. Let's see what I did. I see. Nope, that's good. So we're gonna play that, and then it goes back up, and it's in doubles, octave doubling from this point, 352. So let's just keep reading and double check if it diverges again. Right there. Look at that. So on 359, then it goes down again. And then you have, what is that? That's C sharp. Okay, so that C sharp also goes down. Okay. C sharp, D is also, or D sharp is also down. Okay, so now we're back. Oh, I did mention 366, right? This measure was the one that it diverges back and goes to octaves. So let's find all of these notes basically from here to 366 and go down. So I wasn't wrong when I mentioned that earlier, like maybe 20 minutes ago. I just missed some other areas where they also kind of shift back and forth between the octaves. Okay, so now we're at 366, right? So 366, next page, 367, cello 2, it looks like, again, doubling. Oh, every time you hit that C sharp, it goes down. So now, oh, actually, excuse me. This is a cello 1, huh? Okay, so cello 2 is still in unison. Unison. Great. Okay, so now it's diverging and doing other rhythms. So let's put that all of that in. Let me just double check. Okay, so then it goes back together at 396. 396 is in unison, doing all those E's, doubling in octaves with the bass. So let's make a note there. 396 to 401, the end of 401. Right over here. Why not 395? Let's double check that real quick. So 395 is this measure. Interesting. It looks like well, let's see. Is this written as unison? Oh, it says unison. Okay. So never mind. So going here, 395. It's really strange. It plays this or it plays that little rhythm, and 396 is where it diverges. That's kind of interesting. Let's just put that in right now. So we have da da. Oops. So we have da 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 da. Let's get the rhythms in there first. Okay, so this part, what should I do? Let's do tenutos, and let's do spiccatos on this one. Kind of sounds funny. And that sounds also a little bit strange as well. Let's bring down the spiccatos. Okay. Alright, and then from here to 401-ish. Was it 401 or let's see, 402, 403. I think it was 401. Yeah, so up until here, it's doubling, and then it goes off again. Okay, well, let's put that in. Oh, it's actually over here. So 401, at the end of 401, 402 is where you start doing this again. Right? Okay, so I'm just marking this in now to remind myself that this part, it's sort of being in unison with the bass, but sort of not. And then, yeah, it's doing something way different with the bass. Okay, great. It's all different. All right, so let's go to this spot right here. This is 374. Let me double check and go back once or twice. Okay, 374. That's where we're starting. So all right, right here. Oh, I see. Sam, what you're saying, I was thinking more stuff along the lines with the Thomas Bergerson style for doubling different instruments. I still think that applies to classical. You just have to mix it in a certain way so it's balanced and a little more discreet. Because yeah, it does mess with the room tone and of the hall sound. But yeah, I'm not opposed to layering it for more of a classical sound. You just have to mix it very carefully, and I think you'll be fine. So 373 somewhere here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me double check that. 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. So this is 373. Let's make a marking. And here is where the cello goes off. Pretty sure that's where we were at. Okay, you know what? It was 374. That's where it diverges. Okay, so from here, basically, the notes are similar. And maybe I'll quantize that first. So the first note is E, E, B, B. So this is still kind of in unison. So, but we're just chopping the rhythms and make it more bouncy and swingy. And as we do this, let's make sure the mono overlap is happening. Oh, weird. It's not even playing that second note. Let's try a different articulation. Let's try tenuto. Alright, let's double check here. Sometimes the sound doesn't come through for other programming reasons. Like sometimes there'll be notes like this that cause that to happen, but I don't know. Seems like it's good. Also, I don't know why this is like this. Yeah, so this should all be in one spot. Anyways, okay, so then this should be up. I'm just eyeballing it, but this should be 10 or 100. This is 116. Okay. Going back to what I was saying, 373 or the 374. 374, for some reason, it's not sounding. I know why. Haha. So it's not the sample, the programming part. It's just the note. So these notes need to go higher, and this is where like my eyes start to mess with me on what octave are we at. So let's find 366, right? So 366, we have to go up because those notes don't even exist on the cello. Okay, and we're gonna just do that swing type feel, dun 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 dun, probably for a while. Let's see, 378, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 378. Let's write this in. Then I have a G sharp, and the G sharp also chops up that rhythm. Okay, alright, and let's just keep going. Okay, so now it's starting to diverge here. The bass would be going sustaining all the way here, but the cello is doing this. And we might want to change articulations again. So all of these notes up until here probably is going to be tenuto. Yeah, is that what it's saying? Kind of like that. Maybe this one shorter. Yeah, it's not very musical. Let's see. Something sounds rushed there. That's a little better. Okay, well, it's the best we can do for now. So then we have da da na, and then this one does the same thing. This is kind of fascinating. Sure. We'll keep that one. This one also, I'm a little torn. What if we did this as well? Okay, cool. And then same thing. So let's just copy this over. This should be a low E. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So these are kind of slurred into it, huh? That's what it's saying. There should be a slur on the pickup over to here. This is where it gets a little tricky. I don't know if there's a good way to do this. Let's try a sustain on this and see what it sounds like. Sure. Okay. That works. So let's just keep going. So this B. And then you do it again. This B goes here. There's your E again. And then the B again. And yeah. Next page. Same thing. Something along that line. Oh, I didn't copy this, huh? So Alright, let's see what measure we're on. This is 390. Okay, let's double check. You have your low E's. Is that right? 390? Uh-oh. I think I'm off a measure. Okay, let's double check real quick. 384 in the score would be. This is 384. So we have B's, E, B, B, E. Okay, next page. Then you have another E. This is 390. Oh, one more. So let's do this. Let's bring this over. Okay, one more of these. Oops. This is like set to spiccato for some reason. Let's put this to tenuto. Is that right? Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. So sometimes the samples just sound really good, and it's the sound that you want. In this case, I think this is a sound that I want. And we're doubling in octaves. Let me just double check here with the bass. Okay, so this is too low. Let's see what I need to do here. So let's grab all these notes and go up an octave. Now, 404, we have do 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 do. How do you sing that? Do 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 do. So that part is funky. Let's draw it in. So we have. Oh, and this do 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 do. let's see here. This one was tenuto, spiccato. You know what? I'm just gonna copy this. I need to reprogram the articulation sets there. Okay, and then over here we're going like something like this. Okay, let's hear how that sounds. Alright, so something sounds weird with the articulation. So we have doo-doo. Do I need to bring up the velocity? Huh, that sounds so weird. Da 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 da. That doesn't sound right. Something's really off here. So maybe for these 3 notes, I need to go legato. I don't have legato on this particular passage here. And that one sounds kind of okay, but you know, it might be better if we set it with this right here. So I'm assuming this cello is cello 2. Okay. So if this is cello 2, let's put this in here. So one small sliver for music and one giant leap for mankind. So this part right here, I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, so we're gonna combine those 2 together. That's the idea. And then and we're gonna do that for 3 measures or so, but this sounds a little weird too. What if I made it easier and just did this? What if I did that? Then it has a more logical feel to it. Let's make sure they overlap a little bit. And we go like this. All right. Hey, Tamashi trying. Good to see you. And it's good to see some people on the Twitch side too. If you guys are on Twitch, give a shout out. Hey, there's Greg. Awesome. It's good to see Greg. Mr. Raja Ona. Okay, so I have those 3 measures set, and it just keeps going. So we have a crap ton of this. I don't know how long this goes, actually. It just keeps going. And it also decrescendos all the way down. So it's the same thing over and over till measure 422. So let's just keep it coming. All right, 402 in the score. Oh, maybe I went too far. My bad. 402 in the score. Is that right? 420. Oh, 420. Sorry. 420. So let's write some markers in here. So this is 414, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is 420. So on 422, we're going to stop right here on this note. Oh, okay. And the last part that's interesting is the E actually reattacks here, so make sure they don't overlap. Maybe put a little space between the first note. Maybe not so much, just a little bit. Oh, and then B. So that's an interesting change. Cool. And maybe this one a little longer. Okay, so then there's some dynamic stuff happening there. Let's delete all this. This last note though, oh, my bad. Right here, we have a divisi of sorts, or it's probably, these are triple stops. So let me think about that. The triple stop here is going B, F sharp, and B. Okay, let's put one of these tenutos or like a marcato. I think the marcato would work for now. So let's do that, and then this E is at the low end. So I'm thinking all of this needs to go up an octave. Cool. That sounds good. And then this one is like this. Cool. Triple triple stop, right? Not double stop, triple stop. Let's think about the fingerings on the cello. So the cello is C, G, D, A is the strings, right? So the first note, this B, would be on the G string, the second string, and it would be like 1, 2, it'd be like the second finger, and then the F sharp would be on the D string, and then the B here would be on the A string. It's kind of a funky finger, but I mean it's written out like this, and I would assume this is done with triple stops. It's possible. Same with the E string. So this E is on the C string. This one's on the G string. This is on the D string. Anyways, that's kind of cool. These are good reminders that knowing how to write for strings with the triple stops, double stops, all that, even quadruple, like the Violin 1 has that. It's good to know, being able to just see how that would work. Okay, so that is the cello for the most part. Now we're at a point where we can start shaping maybe some of this, especially here. This part here is just all loud, and it's actually decrescendo. So let's do a little bit of that down below. Yeah, I saw that over here, Greg. You're asking how I'm doing. Things are well. I am keeping busy and just doing my thing. Yeah, work is nice and steady. I'm working on a trailer song, like a trailerized song with another composer. We've been hired by a LA-based production music library for that, so that's been fun. The artist is a really good singer, and we're working not with the singer directly, but just with the publisher, and we got asked to do that. And so yeah, it's been a blast to work on something different like that. So yeah, and then on the free time with this stuff, this is kicking my butt. I'm just like, whoa, there's just so much involved here. Going to this decrescendo here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So at 4:13, we're gonna go ahead and do a decrescendo. Oops. Now that's supposed to be 4 measures of a decrescendo, and it sounds a little funky to me. Let me see here. So this part is a little bit too drastic. I probably want to go somewhere around here, like that. And we're going to go whoop, and just gradually go up. The rhythm sounds a little funky here. Okay. I guess I hear it, but there's something that I think I can do better. So maybe on this last note before the next bar, we put a little bit of a space. That might help, but let's try it and see what it sounds like. Do 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 do. So, not the dynamic, but the length right here. So. Let's go over here. That accent helps, but also it sounds a little unnatural to me. I don't know what we could do. I'll bring it down. Yeah, there's less of a sharp accent that sounds mechanical there. That sounds better. Okay, and last but not least is the dynamic with this, which I think we have down, right? Okay. Everything else, I'm not sure. It does have to be loud. I just don't know how loud this earlier section for the cello should be. Let's play a little bit and see what it sounds like. Cello sounds good. Sounds somewhat balanced. I would say it's just a hair loud compared to the bass. So I'll bring, just as a global type of thing, bring this down. Okay, and that's all I can do for now until we start to hear that in context with everything else. So where are we at now? It's 10 something, right? So, okay, so let's go a little bit more today. What we'll do here in this section now is probably, let's go over here. Okay, so let's go to, I don't know if I want to do cello 1, but then, you know, if we were to do cello, the viola, and the violin 2, almost like, it seems like they're in unison. Double check. It looks like they're in octaves, but yeah, playing kind of the same stuff. So in one aspect, it's tempting to do that, but there, you know, it diverges from there. So it's kind of hard to say. There's, you know, this could be a good opportunity to not do the entire thing. Maybe what I could do, since there's a little different type of rhythm here at 3:59, where the motive starts, maybe we can just focus on hashing out everything from 333 to 358 on everything else. And I don't think I can do that all right now, but that might be a good spot to continue, or as sort of a game plan for now. So if I were to do that, the first logical place to me would be getting let me think about this. Maybe getting the top voice, which is violin 1, and we can do that really quick. And then we maybe will double that with some of the woodwinds, and then fill in the middle after. That seems reasonable. It looks like trumpet is also doing some. Oh, this is horn, right? Never mind. It looks like they're playing more like pad stuff. So we'll start at violin 1, and let's find violin 1 over here. Oops. Okay. So practice that a little bit, and we might be able to do this in time. Recording it as is, but with a slower tempo. It's kind of like how I like to do it. It gives a low pressure and also gives a better feel for this kind of stuff. Well, guys, I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm reading Greg's note here. You gotta go. Okay. Well, sounds good, man. Take care, Greg. I'll talk to you soon. All right. So over here, we're gonna record. Oh, that's awesome. Gotta love that run. What we're gonna do on that part then is we have this E. Maybe I'll mute this E because that E's basically. I'll be playing that. Okay. And let's give it a first try. Maybe without recording. Yeah, I'll do it without recording. Yeah, let's try again. To reorient myself. G-sharp. Okay, so let's do that with the music now. It's gonna be a little bit slower because I just changed the tempo to 100 temporarily for this. And I'm wondering if I should give myself 4 beats. Let's do 4 beats. Okay. Sorry, I gotta find my spot though. I went to. Okay, right there. Let's try again. let's do that again. I also got that first note. I flubbed the first note there. 333. Oh, there you go. Okay. So let's find one spot here. I think I went after this C. I think I missed this note, and then I think I missed one of these notes here. Let me just check that spot. But everything else felt okay. On the D. Okay, so I did play as was kind of late. So I got that. Let's see where else. Then I kind of like stumbled here. So I think there's another note at one measure that would be 348 in the score. So 7, 8 right here. So B A G A G G B A G sharp A G G. Oh, okay, that was this note. Okay, so then let's speed this up back to its normal tempo. And, you know, most of this I want to retain the phrasing and sort of the push and pull, but I will do a little bit of this soft quantize, just kind of like at 70% or something like that. Let's see here. It's at, does it say, 60%. So yeah, that's the soft quantize. Anyways. Some of this keyboard does get some of the velocities in there, but I feel like over here sometimes it's, if I go really hard, you can hear the accent. I feel like maybe this part had too much of an accent. I'm not sure. It looks okay. I mean, it doesn't look that hard. Okay, this one overlaps. So you know what? Let's also do this real quick. Highlight all the notes. Go to mono. On this part, the strings are at the tippy top of its, curve, and I can't really do much here to make it louder besides this CC7. I feel like it needs a little bit more juice towards here, so I'm gonna curve that up. Hopefully that sounds balanced with everything else that plays. Woodwinds will sort of add more color, smooth that sound out a little bit. The horns and brass will warm up the mids, and it'll sound more full. And then also the viola, cello 1, and violin 2 part will will give it energy, as you can see in the score. All of this stuff in the string runs Actually, by the way, nice to meet you, DJ Brightside 206. You're asking about string runs. Yeah, the string runs here, as you can see, really do make things sound nice and full and big and fancy almost, right? Um, really it's just doing a scale, but translating all of that into the DAW. I think what you're asking is how to make it sound good. Yeah, I mean, or how do you write string runs, right? Yeah, uh, you know, I can't say much else, but just study some scores like this one. Lots of classical music are rampant with string runs. John Williams stuff too. Anything you can find in the cinematic world to relate. If it's more relatable that way, find some more modern sounds. John Powell scores or whoever else. There's so many composers out there that are able to proficiently write for string runs. And just understanding why they choose the notes. Sometimes it's a octatonic scale, something fancy like that, or it's like a whole tone scale. And there's a place and time for everything. It just depends on the effect that you want to go for. Um, if you want to look at this in detail, real quick, this scale here is just basically a B um, dominant seventh scale, I believe. I think there's probably a natural in there. Yeah. So if it's a natural, it's just a B seventh dominant scale, going up to the E major. So yeah, I mean, this is a very simple scale pattern, but it's just written, um, really fast in triplets in this case. So, anyways, I hope that helps. With that being said, I think we can start doubling some of what I just did, just to kind of hear and get some immediate satisfaction, so to speak. What I'll do is I'm going to put this in the cursor mode and slice that for a second so I can paste that into, let's say, one of the woodwinds and just hear how that sounds. Where are we? 333 is the measure. 333. Okay, great. So here we have flutes doing some of that. Piccolo is also doubling there. So piccolo is an octave higher. Let's go one up from there. Piccolo is pretty loud, so either we do this or scale all of this down a little bit. Oops. Like that. Okay, let's listen. Okay. And then this stuff, this is part of that violin one string run that happened before. But in this case, the flute is, or this piccolo is just playing the E. Cool. And then something here just feels a little off with the timing. So I'm going to quantize this just a little bit more. Okay. So it has a lot of room sound. I did that on purpose. I think I put a combo reverb on here, as you can see. Yeah, so I just don't want that piccolo to sound so sharp and in your face, so that's partly why I did that. Also, let's bring this down to the flute and bringing it down an octave. So the flute's here. I don't know why there's a note up here. I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, and then let's hear how that sounds. Okay. It's pretty loud, right? Let's do this. Let's delete all this. And sorry, I'm gonna scroll down to the piccolo. Here we go. I think I need to bring this down too. So let's see here. This one here is 78. So I need to bring this down to 78. So wonky with the Cubase stuff sometimes. I love the new Cubase in some regard with you know, the option to do these ramp curves, but it also messes my flow up sometimes with how to glue parts together. And we're focusing on the bass and the top voicing. This is a strategy I find useful to just make sure that first and foremost your notes sound good. You might actually have a typo or a mistake in the notes, so that's one thing. And then also, it's good to just like know your range and then being able to fill in. So if this was a piece I'm composing fresh, like this is not an existing piece, but a new piece, a lot of times is really effective to write the bass line and the melody at the same time. And don't worry about the middle stuff until later. That's one approach. Another approach is just to do the melody and kind of harmonize stuff underneath it as sort of like the mids. But yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong way. That's kind of the approach I'm doing right now, though. So then here, let's double check. The flutes do some of the doubling in the violins, but what I'm going to just show you right now is that in flute 1, it is doubling with the violin one, but there's also a second flute that is harmonizing a third below, looks like, and it's pretty consistent. It's doing that almost always. I don't know what this little mark is right here. Is that a double sharp? I'm not sure. I think that's saying double sharp. I think. I don't know. It's so smudgy and can't really see, but let's just assume there's something there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then, anyways, you got all these in thirds, and then going to 346, it goes down a fifth, and then a third, and then a fifth, and then back to thirds. Okay, and then this is a fourth. So I'm just saying this out loud because I'm wondering if I can just quickly put everything up a third, or down a third in this case, but not necessarily the case. Okay, and then it doubles right here on that B. BB. Is that where this is? Okay, BB. Let's do that real quick because I'm assuming that the oboes will be the same. So if this is flute 1, second flute, let's go back here real quick. Second flute would be here in red. And my strategy of bringing everything down works up until a certain measure. So let's find that real quick. Up until 345, it looks like we're pretty consistently on the third, except for the beginning. The first two notes are in unison. Interesting. So let's keep that up there, and then we'll go down. Oh, and yeah, this isn't always the best way because you always have to keep into account the accidentals. All right, F sharp. Okay. All right. So where are we at? 345 is where all of that will change. So let's just double check. You got the B. Where did that B go? I think maybe these need to go down a third as well. So then these look pretty good. This should be down here. Okay. The highest note was G sharp. So this one right here. F sharp, E, F sharp, E, E, D, D, D. Okay. So on 346, then we diverge and do fifths. So G sharp. Right. Is it? Oh, it's E sharp. Yeah, so like that. I don't know why it sounds funky. It sounds louder when you go back a few spaces. Okay, then next measure. You know what? I'm gonna look at my tablet rather than going back and forth here. I'm just gonna go here, and I'm not sure if some of you guys can see those notes with the with my camera on the top right there. But let me know if you can't see it, and I'll remember to turn it off. So over to that E sharp. Let's find that at 346. Let's keep going. So we have F sharp, and then these go to D sharp, like that. Like that. Okay. And then these are pretty consistently on thirds for the next two measures, or even three measures. Two measures. Okay, so here we have E, D sharp. Okay, now now that we have some ground covered, so to speak, let's put the flutes in. Oh no, I might have done something funky where this was for both of those notes. Let me just double check if that's the case. Huh? Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So what I did it was a boo-boo. It's a faux pas. I moved flute 1 and flute 2 at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to undo everything I just did, because I didn't realize I was actually doing both. Alright, and then over here, I'm going to paste what I copied in the future, so to speak. We're time traveling here. And now I should have the right notes. Yeah, so the green is flute 1, and the red is flute 2. Let's solo this. Okay, let's make sure this is balanced in the right way. Okay, this should be F sharp, my bad. Okay, so that's sounding better and better. Right here, I think this is a mistake. So 340, 341, 342. 342 is 40, 341, 342. 342, we have flutes on the G sharp. Is that right? 342. Oh, it's 341 probably then. Like that. Okay, cool. somewhere here is where it diverges. So here at 351, going back to where I was at, we have this one's a fourth below on B, and then all of these notes till about here are a third below. So all the D's are D sharps, C's are C sharps. Cool. Let's make sure that these don't overlap. And going on. Do 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 do. Oh, actually, I think one more time, huh? Okay, so B. Cool. This is a D sharp. And then this is a, both these are thirds. Okay. Okay, and then this part here is a little funky. So we have G sharp way down here. I mean, it's not funky, it's just out of character with the pattern. And that's just to get that color. It's a different chord too. It's pretty cool. Almost there. Last thing would be 351, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next page, 7. 357. Where we have flutes. Should be C sharp. Okay. I guess the last part didn't copy over, but let's put that in for both. So this is the with the piccolo. I think it just copied over, kind of weird. So over here, I also have piccolo. I gotta bring that back up. Okay. Did I get the green? So the flute one. Okay, now we're in the right spots. We have B, and this one is actually a D sharp. Then it goes up. Cool. And that's it. Okay, so then there is a final note that it's suggesting to play. We might as well just add that in now. So we'll go here and go like that. And let's select all of this, make sure there's no overlap happening just for this section. I think I did Control All on everything. Okay. Sam, you're saying your aux cord or your headphones broke. Oh, no. That's not good. Okay, let's see here. So then I think I copied all this cello stuff. I'm going to delete that. Basically, the parts that we just saw for the flutes 1 and 2 are doubled with oboe. To some degree, it's still with oboe. And as you can see, the only thing here with oboe is that if oboe 2 does something different than oboe 1. Um, I mean, yeah, as opposed to the flute where they're in unison. And then everything else is good. So if we do like a quick job of this, at least to 345, it's the same. But then it's slightly different. It's spelling out different parts of the chord, which makes sense. So I think maybe I'll copy everything over and then just move the notes. It's mainly the oboe 2 that needs to be moved accordingly, only when needed. So that's not too bad. Let's do that real quick. So grab this one, and let's grab this one. Put this down to oboe 1 and 2. Okay, so oboe 1 should be good. I believe, I'm going to just double check again real quick. I believe the oboe 1, it's all in unison with the flute and violin 1. Okay. So then it's just the oboe 2 part that needs to be changed. Luckily, all of this is just in legato, I believe. Although it says marcato. Let's change that to something else. Let's do legato for those. I'm wondering, did I write okay, I didn't assign the right articulation to these, so it'll sound slightly different. Oh, I know why. Okay, so this one is a marcato. I don't know if this does anything, but let's bring it up. Yeah, and I just need to bring all of this up. And I think we're good. Although that sounds weird. Let's just make sure there's no doubling involved. So let's delete any duplicates. I didn't realize I didn't assign these properly. Or maybe I did. This one's good. And this one, let's see here. This one's good too. Okay. Maybe I should have viewed this window first. Okay, so first off, let's make sure the oboe programming is good. All this junk right here, these lanes. Okay, let's listen to oboe 2. Or is that oboe 1? That's oboe 1. This is oboe 2. Right, okay, and then also I noticed there's some crescendo happening. I don't know if I should keep it or not, but I'll leave it in for now. Okay, so finding these two notes, let's look at just oboe 2, and these are the ones in yellow. And real quick, I'm just gonna move them as we go. So we have this one as a 6 below. Oh, sorry, this is right. It's this one right here. And oboe 1 and 2 are in unison for this note. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's solo that. Cool. Some of these notes probably need to be changed to like a staccato. Let's realize. I have to do that on the flutes too. Okay, so all that sounds good. These are all in thirds. Next page. 346, I believe, is where it changes over. Okay, here's 346. All right, now we're going to spell a different chord in the middle. So this is a E. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one, huh? I was looking at Flute 2 for a second. Oboe 2 is actually... And this is 347. Man, I'm all over the place. This needs to go to D sharp. Is that right? Hello. Something's not right, guys. So, for some reason, I'm a little disoriented here. Oh, okay, never mind. 346 is 346. Oh, okay. All right. Now that I know where I'm at, that D and this B are together. Okay. Man, I am losing my mind. Let's see. You have A, and A. Okay. So, let's see why that sounded funny. It's a D natural and a B. Yeah. Let's listen to it in context. It might sound better if we add all this in. Okay, yeah, I think that's right. So that E sharp, B, and D, E sharp, B, D, E sharp, B, D is playing a, there's a G at the bottom of the bass. So this is a dominant 7th. Let's write it in. This is a G dominant 7th chord. But that E sharp is disguised, cleverly disguised as an F natural, right? If you want to see what I'm looking at, 346 right here, this part. So there's a G in the bass line, and then you have B, D, E sharp, right? It's kind of weird, E sharp, but it's really a F natural. The reason why they put an E sharp, I can't give you a reason right now. I have to really analyze that and see why that was the case. That's funky. Also, keep in mind the clarinets changed to what looks like I think it was an A clarinet and A from what I recall last time. So there's a note here, and I'm jumping to that right now because I forgot myself. I'm assuming there's a note. I think it was A. Well, I don't know where it went. But yeah, there's definitely something here that it signifies it's a different clarinet. It's not a C clarinet or a B flat clarinet. It was A or something, but I can't remember where the note went. Anyways, going to this part that we're talking about, that E sharp, right? We're talking about E sharp. It's funky. I always wondered why composers choose a certain accidental that way. Okay, so with that being said, let's finish this oboe 2 part. Oboe 2 is the bright yellow down here. Right here we have E. Okay, this should go to a G sharp, F sharp, F sharp. Okay, next at 351. This is 8, 9, 10, 351. We have have everything in unison with the flutes. Great. And at 357, this is in unison, except for the last two notes. The last two notes go like this. Okay, and even the flute one, or excuse me, oboe one goes to F sharp, and this goes to G, and then this one goes to B and B. Okay, that's not right. G sharp for one. Okay, cool. All right, let's listen to everything now from there. Again, clarinet is in a different key that I have to transpose. I'm not sure if I will do that if I need to really think more. My brain is turning into mush here. There's something a little funky here happening in the phrasing, so I'm gonna just do one more tweak for today, and then maybe on another day I'll add the clarinet in. I think I'm gonna have to clock out after this, so real quick. I feel like maybe the timing here can go a little early, and then also this can shoot out a little bit longer. Let's do it in context again. Like this one, I can rush just a bit. A lot of times these pickup notes are, I don't know, maybe behind the beat. And then, of course, articulations will help. Like these short notes too, in woodwinds can possibly be something else, like a staccato note. I have to think about that. We'll see here. So for one, let's extend that out. Even that pickup note right here. That note is a little late to my ears. Okay, this one. There's a gap, which almost is nice. It emphasizes something, but it sounds a little too much of a gap. So like that. And because of that, let's. All right, and then what I was gonna say here is there's this bass line down here at the bottom that also sounds a little skiwampus, as we would say, but it's mainly because the expression map, I believe, does something weird here. So to me it sounds like, oops, it's like it's losing like sound or something. There's like a sound that dips almost, and that's concerning. I don't know. Let's see. What if I try a different articulation? That's risky. Let's try this one. I don't know. Something just sounds like it's dropping out in volume. It could be... No, it's not that. It's really weird. Let's do that. Let's commit to that one. Okay, and then sorry, I'm gonna unsolo everything. Now that sounds nice and proper, but it might be better to add a little accent. So either we change it to marcato. I'm curious to see how that sounds. Wow. Okay. So now that there's a melody over the bass line, when I did it by itself, it almost sounded too harsh, too abrasive to do this marcato. But it sounds actually pretty balanced now. So yeah, we'll do the marcato there, and I think we are set for today. There's a bunch I did on the bottom, on the low end, towards the very end of this piece. So I think for next time, I think what I'll do is finish up this section, and then we can start this next section and see how far we go there. But I'm hopeful that we can go faster than the St. John's Rapids section. So before going today, let's go ahead and press play at this part where there's like a little bit of a transition starting from this G diminished chord and moving on. Here we go. Oh, okay. Sorry. You know what? I think I know why it dips. It's not so much the articulation now. Now that I remember, let me open up this limiter. Okay, that's why. So I'm going to bring it down to, let's say, 9. Now that everything's so loud. Again, I'm going to go back to its original mastering volume, and then we'll play it from here. Hear how that sounds. that concludes our latest live stream for today, which is going well. This piece is slowly chipping away towards the end, towards the finish line. So I hope you guys enjoyed this another live stream brought to you by the Zone Composition Studio. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe it if you haven't already to the channels of Twitch and my YouTube channels. Share it with your friends. Any help goes a long way. All right, well, thanks again, guys, and I hope to see you next time when we do our next live stream. Till now, take care. See ya.